Morning Year 1, Tuesday morning maths. Today we're going to do a recap of yesterday and extend it for people that are ready to be extended. Don't worry if you're not. What we're doing anyway is really tricky Year 1 maths. So if you're not ready to be extended, please don't worry about it. Okay, we'll just recap from yesterday. I'm going to point to a number, any number, and I'm going to ask you a question. So are you ready? Here's a number I'm pointing to. Can you tell the person next to you? What would the answer be if I added 10? Good. 64. Remember, we go down 1 on the 100 square. 64. What would the answer be if I took 10 away? Good. 44. Remember, we go up 1 on the 100 square. Okay. Fantastic. And another number. What would the answer be if I wanted 10 more? 10 more than. Good. Remember, more than is the same as adding. So it would be 67. 57 add 10, 67. And what would it be if I wanted 10 less than? Excellent. It would be 47. 10 less than is the same as taking away or subtracting. 47. Excellent. Another one. This number here. What would it be if I wanted to add 20 to this number? 20. Good. Remember, 20 is 2 10s. So we're going to add 1 10, 2 10s. So the answer would be 94. What if I wanted to take 20 away? Good. I would go up 2 10s. So I'd go 10, 20. And my answer would be 54. Excellent. Okay. Now I'm going to write a calculation on my whiteboard. And I want you to explain, see if you can explain to the adult that's with you, thinking about what we were doing yesterday and how we were using the blank number line. Can you remind the adult, you're going to be the teacher, can you explain and show them how you would answer my calculation on the whiteboard? Okay, so here's my calculation. It's going to be 22 add 34. So there's the calculation. How would you do that? Explain to the adult with you how you would do it, step by step. Remember, it's really good to be able to explain what you are doing. Remind yourselves. Okay, so pause the video whilst you explain it. Okay, because I'm going to carry on doing it now. All right, so the first thing we do, remember, is draw our blank number line. Okay, so there's our blank number line. The second thing we do, remember, is find the biggest number. So here's our biggest number here, and we put that at the beginning of our number line. So here's our 34 now at the beginning of our number line. Okay, and then remember, we look at our second number now, don't we? How many are we adding on? So we've got 2 10s and we've got 2 10s and 2 1s. Okay, so remember, we split that, we partition that number, and we add the 10s first and then we add the 1s afterwards. Okay, so we're going to look and say to ourselves, right, I need to add 2 10s. It's up to you whether you use 100 square or not. You can just do it straight onto the number line. So you would do your 2 big jumps of 10. And there you go. And then if you need to use the 100 square, you get your 100 square. You find the number 34. Here it is, okay, and then you add your 2 10s. So remember, to add 10s, we go down on the 100 square. We've got 1 10, 2 10s, okay. So there's our 2 jumps going down. So on our number line now, we would put those numbers onto our number line. So our first jump of 10 took us to 44, and our second jump of 10 took us to 54. Okay, so we are now on 54, and if you look carefully you can see that that one's number hasn't changed. Who can remember why? Why has that one's number not changed? What's the reason for that one's number not changing? Who can remember? Tell the adult with you, explain to them. Why is it not changing? Because we're adding multiples of 10. And remember, any multiple of 10 doesn't have any ones. So the ones number is not going to change because we haven't got any ones to add. Okay, so we've added our two 10s. Now we've got to add our two 1s. Okay, so remember, we're just going to do a smaller jump and add our 2. Okay, so now we're doing 54, add 2. So again, you can use your 100 square if you want to. Okay, find the number 54, okay, which you should already be on because you did your two 10s jumps. And then remember, we're going to add 2. So to add 2, we go this way, don't we? Because we're only adding single numbers, we're only adding 1s. So we're going to go 1, 2. So where have I ended up? 56. So my answer is 56. Okay, and I've written my answer at the top as well so that you can see the whole calculation. Okay, I hope that you were able to show your adults how to do that. If you couldn't, that's absolutely fine. That's why I wanted to show you again. Okay, and we will do one more together. And then I will put on, if you can stop the video there if you would like to. If you want to move on to the more challenging part of maths, okay, then you can continue to watch the video, okay, and it's completely up to you. So we're going to do this one now. So 56 add 21. Okay, so we've got this one. Okay, show your mums and dads how to do it. Pause the video whilst you're doing it and I will show you straight away. Okay, so first thing, remember, is to draw that blank number line. Then you take the biggest number, so this is the biggest number here, and that goes at the beginning of your number line. So you write that number there. Okay, so there's your number at the beginning. And then you look at the second number that you're going to add. You look at how many 10s and how many 1s it has. Okay, so in this case we've got two 10s and one 1. Okay, remember, we add the 10s first. We partition that number and we add the 10s. So we're going to add our two 10s, 1, 2, and we write add 10 in it so people can see. There's our two 10s. Some of you may be able to put these on without using your 100 square, but if you need to, you find your 56, okay, on the 100 square, and you add your two 10s. So you go 10, 20, and there's your 76, okay. So on your number line, you would write your 66 and then your 76. Okay, so there you are, 66, 76. And then we've only got the 1s left to add, and we've only got 1 to add. Okay, so we find our 76. There it is. And we add 1. So remember, we're going this way when we're adding because the numbers are getting bigger. So we're going to jump on 1 and we've landed on 77, and that is your answer. Okay, so your answer here would be 77. And remember, always write your answer after the equal sign as well. Okay, you have calculations again today. Most of you will probably want to just continue practicing adding using the number line. It's quite tricky, but actually once you get the hang of it, it makes adding two big numbers so much easier. Okay, now I'm going to do another 5 minutes just showing some children who would like to challenge themselves how we can move on. Okay, so if I had a calculation like this, okay, like the ones we've just been looking at, 24 add 35. There is another way of doing it without having to use a number line, but it still needs to use partitioning. But we're partitioning in a slightly different way, and we have partitioned like this lots of times before. So if we look at these numbers, we've got 24 and 35, okay? Now we're not looking at how many tens and how many ones it has this time. We're looking at what will happen if we actually split, if we actually partition that number, okay? Now remember, you are quite good at this. Remember, I always say to you, we actually pretty much say what it partitions into when we say the number. When we say 24, we're saying that it partitions into a 20 and a 4, okay? And we're saying, when we read this number, we're saying 35, we're saying it partitions into a 30 and a 5, okay? So we can see that they partition into those numbers. So it's not a 2 and a 4, it's 20 and 4. It's 2 tens, and 2 tens are 20. And this one is 3 tens, which is 30. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there for a minute. I'm just going to write another one on the whiteboard. And I'd like you to tell your mums how you would partition that number. So it's splitting it, it's actually splitting it into the two numbers you would get if you split that number up, if you partitioned it. What would you have? Stop the video if you want to. So I'm going to show you now. If you partition these numbers here, again, you almost say the numbers, don't you? So we've got 45, so it partitions into a 40 and a 5, okay? And this one says 23, so it partitions into a 20 and a 3. Okay, well done. Now, for what we're going to do today, we are going to be using this partitioning, okay? So I'm going to keep that one up there to show you. But we're going to add these two numbers together using this way of partitioning. And again, like we did with the number line, we always do the tens first. So start with the tens, okay? You're going to add the two tens numbers first. So underneath the calculation, you're going to write 20 add 30, because those are the tens. We've got 20 and we've got 30. So we've got 20 add 30, okay? What is 20 add 30? What can you use that you already know that can help you? Excellent. We know that 2 and 3 makes 5. So if 2 and 3 make 5, 20 and 30 must make 50. Okay, so we're going to put the 50 on there. Okay, so now we know that our tens numbers add up to 50. Then underneath we're going to add up our ones. Okay, so we have a 4 and we have a 5. Okay, so there we go, we've got our 4 and our 5, and we add those together. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there we go. So now we know our ones add up to 9. And then all we're going to do is add these two together. So 50 add 9 equals 59. Because remember, I've said to you before, when you're adding a single number, so when you're adding a ones number like 9, okay, onto a multiple of 10, remember that number covers up the 0, so it goes over the top of the 0, so that becomes 59 because that 9 slides onto the top of the 0. Okay, so your answer here is 59. Okay, we're going to try one more, and I'd like you to have a go, see if you can show the adult that's with you how to do it. Okay, are you ready? We're going to have 32 add 46. Okay, 32 add 46. So you explain or show your adults how you would do that. What would you do first? Have a think. Stop the video to have a go, and I will remind you. So first thing we do is we partition the 2-digit numbers. Okay, so this one, remember, partitions into 30 and 2 because it's 32. 30 and a 2. This one partitions into 40 and 6. 40 and a 6. Okay, now remember, we add the tens first. Okay, so we're going to add the 2 tens. So we've got 30 and we've got 40. So we write those down underneath. We do 30 add 40 equals, okay, and remember we can use our ones numbers to help us. So we can just do 3 add 4, which we know is 7. So 30 and 40 must be 70. Okay, so there you go. And then once we've done that, we're going to move on to our ones numbers and add them together underneath. Okay, so we've got 2 add 6 equals, okay, underneath 2 add 6. So 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8. Okay, and then all we have to do is add our 2 answers together. So we've got 70 add 8 equals, what's it going to be? Remember what I said. What does that ones number do? It covers up the 0, so it's going to become 78. Okay, your answer would be 78. Okay, now on the PowerPoint there are some calculations. The people who decided to carry on and watch the second part of the video, you can now choose which way you would rather show your workings for these calculations. So you can either decide to do it using the number line method, or you can decide to do it using the partitioning method. So it's up to you which you choose to do. I will be really happy either way. The partitioning method can be a bit quicker. So it is your choice which way you would like to do it. Okay, and I really look forward to seeing how you've decided to work it out and your answers. Okay, Year 1, I shall see you again tomorrow for maths. Take care. Bye.